Hello, internet friends. This is Siren Lush. Long time no see. I know it's been a while. Took an extended multi-year social media break and kind of a tarot break. And in the interim of that, I have grown quite a tarot collection, and that is what I want to talk about today. As you can see, here are some of the decks that I have collected since 2022, and that's quite a lot. So what I wanted to do is a little unboxing of Shewolfe, Celestial Bodies, and Mermaid, since those are my newest to me decks, and have a little chat about consumption, collection, resonance, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to make this video. I didn't really have a plan, so I'm going to clear all this stuff off my desk. I'm going to get these out of the wrappers because I hate the way the plastic wrap sounds crinkling on video, and then we'll chat. Hello, internet friends. This is Siren Lush at Siren Song. Get it? Silly jokes aside. So I am back for an undetermined amount of time. Took a social media break. I watched the YouTubes, but I didn't make any of the YouTubes. And I've really been wanting to get back into making videos. So here I am. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really have a plan for this. We're just doing it on the fly. So what did I prepare for you today, friends? So I've got 3 pretty boxes here. We have the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy, Celestial Bodies, and Shewolfe Tarot by Serpentfire. And these are my newest decks, and I thought that we could take a look through them. All I did was take the shrink wrap off the outside of the box because I just cannot stand the way the crinkling of that sounds on video. And so we're going to take a look through these, each of these as my new decks, a walkthrough, I guess. I mean, I don't even know how necessary that is because this deck's been out forever. This deck's been around for a really long time. I'm not even sure how long this one's been around. I know that it's been on my wish list for many years, but I don't know if it went there before it was actually released or after. I think this is the first edition. I don't know. Sometimes it's difficult to find information on the deck, and I just don't feel like putting on my best Sherlock Holmes to find out when it's not in the description. You know what I mean? So, take a look through these. Let's start with Mermaid Tarot. So this cool, nifty little card is, I believe, from the Serpentfire Tarot. And that was included with the Celestial Bodies and Shewolfe. It's the Ace of Wands. It's pretty nifty. I'm going to keep that card. So I'm going to start going through these. And I don't really want to just do a walkthrough, unboxing, because, well, that's not really my jam. And the thing that I wanted to talk about is in opposition to what I'm actually going to be showing you. So welcome to Siren's Paradoxical Musings. And, I just went into this. I got my comfy, cozy sweater on because the air conditioner's on and it's really hot outside and really cold inside. So I'm doing it. I don't have a plan. Let's go. So I guess a little bit about the deck. So this is the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy. Obviously, this is the one in the tuck box. There is another version where it comes in a hard box and the edges are gold. This one doesn't have any edging, which I don't particularly care about. This tarot has been on my wish list for years. And I finally decided to dive in and get it. Now, I haven't even flipped through these cards yet. It literally just took the plastic off. I guess we're gonna go. I don't know, ooh, that's pretty. This is a kind of strange because I feel like I should be talking about, that's cute too. I'll probably use that as a bookmark. I should be talking about like each of these. Oh, these out of order? These are out of order. Okay. So I feel like I should be talking about each of these individual cards. I should be like doing that walkthrough thing, right? But I'm kind of not going to unless something really stands out to me, because what I instead wanted to talk about, the whole thing that has come up for me and spurred this impetus of I gotta make a video again, is going through TarotTube again. And I took a long break from watching that even, and noticing all of the other people talking about like decluttering and consumerism and all that stuff. Now, why does that interest me? Well, my collection has grown a little ridiculous over the past 3 or 4 years. I started off with one deck that was a gift to me, and that was the Thoth Tarot. And I had that deck for a long, long time, many, many years. And it was my only tarot deck. And then in the summer of 2019, your girl found out that you can order decks on Amazon. And oh no, what kind of trouble did I get in? Not only trouble, but like this whole interesting world of you can find a tarot deck that resonates with the specific imagery and aesthetic and the feeling that you like. And, that just really captured me. I was drawn in. I think most people that get into tarot at one point or another will stumble into the oh no, I've bought too many tarot decks situation. Power to the people that immediately know what they like or are happy with just sticking to one. I am a lover of art. So tarot decks are other worlds that I can travel to that have their own lore and feeling, vibe. Sometimes it's a world that you want to spend a lot of time in, and sometimes it's not. And sometimes what you think the world is going to be like when you're just seeing that like snapshot of it, or even from a walkthrough, is completely different to when you actually have the thing in your hand. So I have a big collection. I have over 100 decks. I have a very small space, and at least half of those decks are packed up in my closet right now because I just don't have anywhere to display them. So I have been considering well, not considering, I know I need to, but culling my collection. And yet at the same time, I have a lot of decks, and I feel like I acquired so many in such a short amount of time. I mean, like roughly 100 in 3 years is a very short amount of time to actually work with and build bonds with these different decks and like really understand how to use them. Like it's not it. I am one person. I need more than like a week to work with a deck and build a bond with it. Like a couple of months for me, at least. So I have all of these decks. I don't use a lot of them, but I don't necessarily want to get rid of them either because they are pretty, or I think, oh no, I didn't use them for the purpose that I was going to use them for, because I've been thinking about like making pick a card videos again and whatnot, which I don't know, maybe I'll do that, but I've been trying to deepen my relationship with tarot, I suppose, because it's kind of like, the Dunning-Kruger effect, where when you first get really, really into something new, you get extremely overconfident. And you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't know why everybody says it's so hard. It's not as hard as you thought. And then you just kind of like fall off this cliff and go down. And then you're like, oh, shizzle. I didn't realize how much I don't know, and everything is terrible, and this is so difficult. And then you kind of slowly climb your way back up, not to the confidence level that you were at when you didn't know anything. It's less confident than that, but more confident because you've actually put the work behind it. So it's the pulling myself back up stage that I've been in with tarot for the last couple of years. So I'm interested in going deeper instead of broader. And because of my space restrictions, I feel that I need to cull the collection. Now, one of my issues is I don't necessarily know where to start. Especially because I like a lot of these decks. So what are the different things that I will need to pick out in order to say, no, I don't want that deck anymore. I want to get rid of it, rehome it, give it away, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be leaving my space and going someplace else. So I have been watching others' thoughts on culling the collection and gaining some ideas. So the first thing that I have done is I went through my email and my Etsy history and my Amazon history, and I made myself a big old spreadsheet of every deck that I have purchased, and if I still have it, if I love it, if it's a forever deck, if it's in purgatory, if it's no longer in my collection and where it went, or I even have a few that have just straight up disappeared. Like, that's how many decks I have. It's you, like, that your collection is too big when some of them just vaporize into the ether and you have no idea what happened to them. You just know that the last time you looked through your whole collection, you couldn't find that thing. So I've got a few on there like that. It's kind of ridiculous. As I was making the spreadsheet, I happened to order a lot of tarot decks. Lot as in like what I showed at the beginning on the table. Like, not, yeah. I ordered a bunch. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, why? Why am I lamenting having to cull my collection and then feeling like oh no, but I need to get more when I haven't made space for more yet. I still don't have an answer, like a complete answer. I just have bits and pieces of an answer for that so far. The decks that I have been buying this year, well, okay, I do have kind of an answer. So a lot of the decks that I purchased in the end of 2019 and a few in 2020, in the beginning, were like FOMO purchases, or because I had seen them a lot in use by other people. And these were decks that when they had come up for me, I had passed on and said, oh no, that's not for me. And then it's like I got this FOMO and I was like, oh no, I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to have the thing that everybody else has. What am I doing? So I have a bunch that are like that. Like, they're pretty. I'm like relatively familiar with them just because I've seen other people use them so much, but they're not like awesome readers, or it's just a tool. It's like a Honda Civic. It gets you where you need to go, even though it's not very like flashy or luxurious. So like they work, but because I have so many, I feel like I should be focusing on like what really works for me, what really draws me in, instead of decks that I just feel very blah about. So I guess that leads me to Dame Darcy. So Dame Darcy, Mermaid Tarot. Again, on my wish list for years and years and years. Why didn't I get it? Well, because it wasn't on Amazon. And I think that it might have been out of print, like briefly, the one time that I did look a few years ago. I honestly, I don't even remember. But why do I like Dame Darcy? Even after thinking about culling all of my decks, why did I decide to buy this one? Well, this deck is not my favorite art. Like, it could be prettier, more finished. But I like that it's not. I like that it's ink drawings with watercolor, and it's a little bit sketchy. It's kind of like something you would find in a friend's sketchbook. It's not perfect and polished, and that gives me a little bit of room to be imaginative and put myself in that scene. And I really like the feeling that the artwork in this deck evokes in me, which is it transports me back to being a 17-year-old water polo player, swimmer. I lived in the pool and was a mermaid, and this deck just it captures a facet of my life from when I was younger, and I enjoy that. So I am going to do some readings with this later, and I don't know, maybe we'll do a follow-up. We'll see what happens with Dame Darcy, but I really love it right now. Gonna get all judgy about the cardstock in a minute. I see that these cards are matte, which is fantastic. I'm not a fan of gloss. And cardstock is also, I'm realizing going through this collection that I have and what I pick up and what I don't, cardstock tends to be a deal breaker for me. Not as a deal breaker as in, oh, I'm not going to buy this. I mean, it might maybe need to be, but it is definitely either a hindrance or a boon to whether or not I want to work with the deck. So this cardstock is pretty thick, but it's like decently flexible. I don't know how well this is going to shuffle, because of the overall thickness of the deck. Like, you can see a little bit of flexibility there. I have to press pretty hard though. I like to riffle, bridge shuffle. I've gotten pretty good at it since the last time I tried to show you all. So this is gonna riffle. It's not really gonna bridge though, because it's too thick. Now it's a good size for my hands. If I can at least riffle it, then it's like, okay. I mean, I can riffle most decks. I can do it vertically, horizontally. That was trash. But I have noticed that there are certain cardstocks, like if I can just get into that shuffling rhythm, then I'm gonna be all over it. Overhand's okay. I mean, what deck doesn't overhand at least decently? Not my favorite, not too terrible. I'm probably gonna edge this myself because I like to do that. So, Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. I love it. I'm excited. My teenage self is just like jumping up and down to use this deck. We'll see how it goes though. Okay, so I had to get out one of my favorite decks to shuffle just so that I can like show you guys the difference between them. So this is Dame Darcy. That's what we've been looking at, right? This is the Darkness of Light Tarot, the 4th edition, and this is out of print right now. So if you are not if you are not shopping directly through the artist, I'm gonna be real with you, you're probably gonna end up with a knockoff copy, and you are not going to get this beautiful, wonderful, lovely black core German cardstock. So let's take a look at the thickness between these two decks. Holy moly. Look at that. Look at that. Like, that's what? Like 20 cards? Ish? Roughly? So just for another little comparison, we'll shuffle this one again. I'm guessing, because I didn't look it up and I don't know, I'm guessing that this one is like 350 GSM, because that seems to be the standard premium sturdy cardstock, which in my opinion is not premium at all. Friends, this is the real premium. Look at this. It's like butter. Oh, it's so amazing. Oh, just look at that. Feel it. Listen to the sound. Oops. It's because I was shuffling with my eyes closed and messed it up. Okay, one more time. That's the kind of shuffle that I want. I want all of my decks to sound like that. Oh, I wish in my little heart that all decks were printed on the black core. Well, I mean, I wish it, and then I wouldn't have any like deal breaker to like to keep me from buying the deck. Just a note, if you are not familiar with this one, the 4th edition is the only one with the yummy cardstock. If you happen to get a used copy of the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, the cardstock is atrocious. It's thick like this, and the finish on it is slipperier, so it overhands really, really well, but it does not riffle worth a darn. So I just wanted to show you that little difference in what I think is good cardstock and what is pretty standard cardstock for independently produced decks. Moving on. So I'm back here with my cute little Ace of Wands card that she included. Let's take a look at Shewolfe. So Shewolfe has been on my wish list for a really long time. It's actually gone on and come off. Ooh, pretty packaging. It's actually come on and gone off several times. Stuff in there. I'm not a huge packaging person. I mean, I'm pretty happy with just a tuck box. I like hard boxes like that, but I'm okay with a tuck too. Guidebooks, I will be checking this out later. I wanted to do a deep dive with this. The reason that this ended back up on my wish list is it's because of Don Michelle. Don Michelle, this is all your fault. No, I'm kidding. I did really like her video on her practice with this deck, and it just had to go back on. The reason that it came off is because I had Star Child and I had Moon Child and I had a couple other collage decks, and I was like, ugh, I don't need another one. But then I saw her videos on it, and I was like, nope, you know what? Maybe this is the one. This is the collage deck that had really been calling to me. And those other collage decks were just trying to be a facsimile of this one. I mean, that's a pretty bold statement, right? And I don't even know if it's true yet. I won't know until I actually start working with this one. But I know with like Star Child, it was so pretty. It was so gorgeous. But it just didn't feel anything from it. It was, ooh, I like this High Priestess. It was too pretty, right? Like it's so pretty that it's devoid of any feeling. It didn't touch my soul in those places that produces emotion or insight or curiosity. And I liked, ooh, so that's in 8, but it's lust for Thoth. Interesting. And it was the same with Moonchild. Like, Moonchild is super, super visually stunning, and it evoked a little bit more emotion in me. But it's almost like neither one of those decks is weird enough for me. Oh my goodness, check out this death card. This is awesome. She's got the jackal head. She's all naked. There's many dimensions of her. This is weird. This is great. I love it. I like weird. That's what I've discovered. You know, having a huge collection has taught me that this is a fantastic devil too, that I like weirdness in my decks. Like a beauty, of course, because, you know, it's got to be aesthetic. I mean, I do have Venus conjunct Sun, and Venus is my chart ruler. So there's got to be some aesthetic cohesion, but it doesn't need to be like pretty at the same time. You know what I mean? This Ace of Cups. Look at that. It's a portal into another world. It's the Yoni cup. Oh, that's great. So I'm excited about this deck because of the feminine energy that it carries. I feel like I am a more masculine energy leaning person. And this is kind of like the other side that I can not dive, but relax into the power of femininity. You don't have to force it. You just have to ease into it. And and it'll open up. Ooh, I like that she's got the eye there. Yeah, I'm digging this one. So, collage decks. I have a few collage decks. I mentioned Star Child and Moonchild. I actually don't have Star Child anymore. I gave that away to a friend who was just getting into tarot. And Star Child, I think, is a very gentle deck. I think it's a good deck for shadow work, actually, for beginners, because it is gentle. But at the same time, like, a shadow work deck needs to like evoke some kind of feeling for you. It didn't have enough emotional punch for me. But I know that it does for other people, like my friend that I gave it to. It sent her places. So I'm happy that it is in a new home and will be loved and used, because I do like it. It's just not for me. I like the color palette in this so much more than Star Child and Moonchild. It's a lot more saturated. It's a lot more orange based. This has a very 70s vibe, which I dig. I love all of the pinks into purples, orange, brown, ochre tones, contrasted with like the pastel teals and blues. It's like a sunset. And I like that this deck, the imagery is mostly set in the desert for two reasons. Well, probably for more, but two spring forth at the moment. Number one is I live in the desert, not in like the sandy dune stereotypical desert. There are places that are like that here, but I live in the desert, and the sky here is all of these colors. There's a canyon in Death Valley called the Stained Glass Canyon, and it has all of these colors, especially at twilight. You can just see all of the different blues and pinks and oranges just splashed across the rock. It's gorgeous. You know, and you have these low horizons with the big skies and all of the clouds. So I relate because this is very similar to the physical environment that I'm in. The other reason that I like it is because the desert is also the setting for the dark night of the soul, right? Like when you have to really go down to brass tacks and find out what it is that you're made of. It happens in the desert where you're alone and it's harsh and it's a place of extremes, extreme bright, extreme dark, extreme hot, extreme cold, extreme dry, extreme wet. When it rains here, it flash floods. In fact, I work up in the mountains in the desert, and on 2 days ago, it was 88 in the valley where my house is, but it snowed where I was at work, and I was only 3,000 feet higher. So the desert is an interesting, kind of crazy place, and it's weird. And I like it. So Dark Night of the Soul, find out what you're truly made of. How does this really... Oh, right. Okay. So I associate that with because I've been getting lightly into Vedic astrology and the moon mansions, the nakshatras. And my moon is in Purva Bhadrapada, which is the nakshatra that has lots of Dark Night of the Soul themes and lots of desert themes. And trials and breaking out of boundaries and extremes and finding out what it is that one is really made of. So that's why I was drawn to this deck. I love this Page of Pentacles. And I'm very much looking forward to working with it. Doing a deep dive on this deck. Oh, look at that. That's great. Ooh, planet cards. Saturn, Mercury. Ooh, love it. Okay. So let's find out. How does this bad boy shuffle? Oops. Ooh, backs are pretty too. So this stock is much thinner than the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. You can see it's got the rose, dusty rose gilding. Let's find out if it can be bridged, riffled. Yeah! Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. And I just can't hide it. Ooh, okay. So, I'm pleased. It's probably because these cards are just like, just barely the right size for me, that I can kind of bridge them. If it was slightly smaller, this way, it would be easier. But that's okay. I'm happy with this. I'm happy that these are not big, thick wooden planks. Cards, paper planks, whatever. It's not a ritual deck. I'm not going to have to go through an entire ritual just to shuffle this thing. And that's what I really want. I don't, like, I have some decks that are rituals to shuffle, and it's okay for that. Like the True Black Tarot, I'm okay with that being a ritual deck, because with the way that the author purposefully designed each card and how they're like big and thick, and they have that rose petal finish and the matte with the glossy embossing, like just the whole thing. I'm okay with that being a ritual deck. I'm okay with it taking time to have to shuffle, because it's such a pain in the ass to shuffle. I'm okay. I can do a meditation on it. It's great. I don't want all my decks to be like that. I don't want most of my decks to be like that, but I'm okay with having a few that are like special and have a tactile like weight to them. Okay. So let's get through this, because I've probably been talking too long and not even made a point yet. But I'm just bringing you along to my rambling. This packaging is really pretty. I like it. So this Celestial Bodies deck, also by Serpentfire Tarot, which does Shewolfe. This is an astrology deck. Now, in the description, it is listed as a learning deck, a teaching tool. It's not intended to be shuffled and drawn like a tarot or an oracle. This is to teach you astrology. That is what the intention of this is. However, I'm probably not going to use it like that. I have been studying astrology for, these are the guidebooks, Volume 1, Volume 2. I'm very interested to see what she has to say. I have been studying astrology for years before I ever picked up a tarot deck. Chiron, lunar eclipse, waxing gibbous, crescent, Saturn return signs. Ooh, what's in here? Oh, so we got angles, houses, elements, modes, aspects. Oh, numerology. Okay. Yeah, I'm very interested to dive into this. But I've been studying astrology for a really long time, so I don't need to use this as a learner's deck. I I actually don't have a real clear idea for how I'm going to use this. And I have a couple other astrology decks, and I do like to pull cards out of those every once in a while when I'm doing a reading, just to see what comes out, because I read astrology decks as a way to clarify tarot. Because I already understand the energy of that system, right? So I like having the deck that shows those things. And the reason why I wanted this deck is because it has so many components of astrology. It's got the planets, it's got the houses, it's got the modes, it's got the elements, it's got aspects. And this is what, like 88 cards, 70 cards, something like that. It's a big, thick deck, right? It's got a lot of stuff in here. And if I ever feel like I just want to have like a visual interpretation for some placements, I can use this thing. And it's good weird. Good weird. And I can use it for that, or I can just draw a card and add that into my reading. Or like I like to do writing sometimes, so I would use this deck to help me clarify personalities, because I understand the astrology and how it interplays together. One thing that I am not so good at is the phases of the moon. So that's something that this can perhaps help me out with. And you know, this deck, like I said, had been on my wish list forever. And I think it wasn't released. And so I went in search of other astrology decks and just was not quite vibing with them. Like the Black Moon, is that what it's called? The Black Moon Zodiac, the Black Moon Astrology. I don't know. I don't have it, but it's like $20 on Amazon. It's got white borders. It's got collage. It's all starry. It's got like 40 cards. It's not enough. Not enough astrology. Which, fine for beginners. Great if it works for you. Not my jam. Not deep enough for me. I tried the Numina astrology deck. It's got like that purple starry box with the pretty girl with fish. It's the Pisces card on the front, and that one's super pretty. I like that one. It's got lots of nice keywords, but I don't need keywords. That doesn't really add anything for me. And the cardstock was absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. So I gave that deck away. And I think my friend's kids got into it and like colored all over the cards and stuff. Maybe she still has it. I don't know. I should ask her. But it was not for me. So it had to leave. And this, oh gosh, it's so weird. I love it. Is what I have been looking for in an astrology deck. When I get through this one, I will just pull out 2 of the other ones that I found, which I'm okay, because those are much smaller decks than this one. I'm okay with them being smaller. Because I feel like those are more the ones that you shuffle, I would shuffle and draw in a reading with, than this one. This one's probably going to be me sitting on the floor trying to figure out what my main character's flaws are. Like, I'll do a little shuffling and come up with a grand cross. Oh no. Okay, lots of internal struggle. So what's the cross between? What planets? What signs? Let's find out. Oh, we're going beyond 22. Okay, so we have some of the magic numbers and Saturn return. Love this with all the rings of Saturn. Okay, and this has the super pretty hollow edging. This is the travel size, by the way. I don't have an altar. I don't like altar cards. I like to be able to shuffle. So I got the travel size. And I can already tell that this deck, this big thick mama, is going to be too thick to bridge back together. So she only riffles. She don't bridge. Ooh. But she shuffled nicely. I like this gilding too. It doesn't feel sharp on my hands. It's nice. So just a little quick comparison. So celestial bodies. And because I happen to have both of these decks handy dandy right here, there's the Living Wheel Astrology cards, which these are just so aesthetic. I like how the colors are simple. It's got cards for different seasons, the signs with the constellation, the houses are in the wheel. Got planets, of course, more seasons, eclipse. Hey, that's me, Aquarius. Second house. Ooh. Is this what's happening tonight? I don't know. There's a lunar eclipse tonight. Is that what turns the moon red, or is that a solar eclipse? I should know these things, and yet it escapes me at the present. Probably because I've been rambling for too long, but I don't know. I just want to show off my stuff. I kind of feel like I need to show off my collection too and get like the most use out of it before I get rid of a bunch of it. Is that wrong? Is that bad? Okay, so this is Tarot Astrologique. This is a deck that was originally printed in the 30s, the 1910s, the 30s, something like that. And this is a reprinting done by Vieux Monde Express. I think that's how it's pronounced. I did not take French, so please pardon my terrible French pronunciation. So it's an independent printer, and this is really nice backlick. As I bumble the shuffling, so delicious. So I don't know if this is black core or blue core. I haven't held the light up to it to figure it out or sent a message to the seller, but this is just like vintage and a little dark and just oh so yummy. It's pretty simple deck. This one is the 3 faces of all the signs in their different deck ends, the 10-degree little slices of each of the 12 signs, and then you got planets. You see, like, this is 20 to 30 degrees Taurus, 20 to 30 degrees Leo, ascendant 10 degrees Leo, 10 degrees Taurus, 10 degrees Pisces, and this is just a beautiful little reprint. I love. So I guess here are the 3 astrology decks that I have currently, all to be used different. This one I like to just draw one and add it into a read. This one I like to use by itself to clarify things, and this one is, I think, is going to end up being my big ol' let's play and see what comes out of it. So, thank you for watching, joining me on my rambles. I'm not sure if I ever actually got to a point. If I did and you got something out of this, hurrah! If I made absolutely no sense and you left, well, bye. Thanks for stopping by. I will try to, I guess, be a little bit more focused in the future, but I really just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out and go through my new things because I've just really been wanting to make a video again. And I've got a couple more decks on the way, so maybe we'll do something like this again. Maybe we'll do something a little bit different. I don't know. I'm gonna go eat lunch and clean up my desk. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you around. Bye.